You're listening to the Beats and Bars podcast hosted by BATTL Beats. This podcast is out there to shine a light on the most slept on and underrated rappers and producers.
It's battle, baby.
Hey guys, what's up? It's BATTL Beats here with another episode of the Beats and Bars podcast. We've got a very special guest today. He is a dope rapper and you're going to love what he's got to say. So we've got Exile Wanderer. How's it going, bro? You doing good?
Man, I'm doing great, bro. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Lockdown and quarantine is easing up in the UK, so slowly things are getting back to normal. So it's kind of nice. How's everything with the whole virus been going on for you?
I see a lot about it online, but I'm kind of a homebody anyway, so this has kind of been nice for me. Like I get to just stay home and not have to make up an excuse to not go somewhere. So
yeah, I feel like that sometimes. Like if I had the choice to not go out some nights, I definitely would, because I just I like my own space. I'm kind of like, I've got two sort of, I'm not split personality, but sometimes I'm really introverted, like most of the time. But I do have like extrovert tendencies when I'm out with people. But I can only kind of do that for a certain amount of time before I'm like, I need to go home and be by myself.
Exactly.
Lockdown and stuff's been great because I've not really had to go anywhere, so I can just focus on making music, hanging out with my wife, and just having a good time. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man, it's been about the same here.
Yeah,
music, hanging out with wife.
Yeah, it's a good life, really, isn't it? Music. Well, you have to put wife first, but what wife then? Music.
But, yeah, absolutely.
Happy days. So, do you want to just tell us a little bit about your rap journey so far? Because I know in previous, Instagram DMs we've had, you've told me you've been rapping for a while. Like, is it how many years? It sounds like a long time, but you want to just tell us a little bit about your journey?
Sure. So I've been rapping, I think, about like a total of 17 years. I started when I was in second grade. I started writing. And I used to there used to be a sound recorder on PCs. It was just called Sound Recorder. And you could record in 30-second increments. And so I'd like write these cheesy little second grader raps and then record them in like 30-second chunks and then splice it all together in Audacity. And I did that for a couple of years. And then, I started getting into like 5th grade, 6th grade, and started deciding I wanted to take it seriously. And then I like moved and went to a whole new school in a new area. And I still kept trying to rap, but everybody there, like, they didn't see me trying from, 2nd grade. I was just this new kid that thought he could rap, and I really couldn't. And so like middle school was tough. Nobody supported it back then. Like now I still talk to a couple guys from middle school who like support it now. But we didn't really talk back then. But, I kept rapping through middle school, kept rapping through high school. In high school, it kind of started taking more of like the spiritual and like religious turn that it's at. It was definitely, before that, it was all still deep. It was all still about what I was going through. Just cause like, I don't know, I didn't necessarily have a easy childhood. So I was always rapping about just dealing with life. And then in high school, it started kind of taking that spiritual journey, because that's kind of where my life started going. And that's really when I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Was in high school, I started finding people who actually supported it, whether it was good or not. They supported the fact that I wanted to do it and helped me get better. It was in that time, I think I got involved / started like 5 or 6 different rap groups of like and really they weren't good. They were really bad, because it was just like
but is any music that goes on in like your teenage high school years good to unless you're some child prodigy, like
right,
you got to start.
that's true.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I do remember too. I think it was around the end of middle school or beginning of high school. That was actually when somebody finally told me that I needed to learn how to rap on beat. For like that whole time before then, I just was like, yeah, it's about finding a cool beat and then saying everything as fast as you possibly can. And the concept of like staying on beat didn't occur until somebody brought it up in like freshman year of high school.
It's really
Um,
interesting you say that because like I have a lot of like young rappers like DM me and just say, check out my song, and I'm like, yeah, sure, cool. And there's like one part of me that doesn't really want to give them the honest feedback because
right,
I don't want to give them like I don't want to upset them and be a bit of a soul destroyer. But then
right,
there's the other side of me that's like, if they're not like not there yet, I need to say and I need to give them constructive criticism. And like it's one of those things. Being on beat is like if you can't rap on beat, you need to because that's the first thing that I notice. If you're not playing in beat on rapping on beat, I'm just like, no, I don't really want to
yep,
listen to it. It sounds,
exactly.
and it's like one of those things. That's pretty much the most feedback I ever give is just work on your timing. If it means listening to a metronome and just having that, and
Right,
just rapping to a metronome, whatever, like do it because pretty much everyone who has an Instagram page and is I'm a rapper, everyone pretty much wants to like do it as a career. So then
yep,
rap on the beat because at the end of the day, that's going to be the difference between you being good and you being bad. And it's great that you actually heard that at a young age because now you're really tight on the beat and it's great to hear. And I was listening to some of your music and like you've got those fast flows in there which I can hear you. You were saying how you just try and rap as fast as you can. It may not it
right,
may not be on beat, but what you've done is you've practiced rapping fast and been able to like say the words really quickly. That is something I cannot do. I can't say more than like two words in like it's bad, but it's cool that you practiced a
right.
fast flow. Would you say that like the definition between a good and a bad rapper is that they can rap fast, or would you say that rapping fast is more of a stylistic thing?
Yeah, I honestly I think that rapping fast is a stylistic thing. Um, I think that a lot of people who can rap really fast use that to cover up the fact that they're not really saying anything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Very similar to mumble rap, I feel like. Um, just feel like you can be doing something that sounds cool, but really not saying anything.
Mm.
And whether you're saying it so slow that you're saying nothing or saying it so fast that you're saying nothing doesn't really make a whole lot of a difference. To me,
Yeah.
what makes a really good rapper is being able to, yeah, stay on beat and um, be saying something in a unique way. Um,
Mm.
I don't know, like the greatest rappers it, to me are just like you know ill with their flows, they're on point with their rhyme schemes, but overall they're just phenomenal storytellers or
Mm-hmm.
great at presenting some sort of a message.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and to me that's really what sets you apart, is if you're able to get the construction and the technicalities down, like the technical side of it down, and also have something beneficial to say to the world.
Mm.
That's really what sets people apart from uh, not only being good, but then going up to being a great.
Definitely. Definitely. One thing I really like about your music is the depth in your lyrics. I'd definitely say
Thank you.
you're one of the top underground YouTube rappers who is, in terms of lyricism. And I
Thank you.
think that is something that I wanted to say because I genuinely mean it. But what is it that gives you the main motivation in your lyrics? Because I know that you label yourself as a Christian rapper, and I got a lot of respect for that. I'm a Christian myself, and I think it's really cool that you're doing that, having the boldness to go ahead and, you know, just say, you know what, I'm a Christian, I don't care what you say, whatever. So
Yeah.
what would you say, you know, is the main inspiration in your lyrics?
Um, I think it really kind of stemmed from the fact that I've always talked about my life. Um, and then my life kind of got to a point where like I realized I cannot do this without God.
Mm-hmm.
And so a good portion of the last, I don't know, 6, 7 years of my life has just been my journey of seeking God wherever he is. And that's kind of been my personal mission, is like, I want to know God, whether that means, you know, if he's the God of Islam, then I'll find him there. If he's the God of Judaism, I'll find him there. And at the end of the day, after all my searching, right where I'm at now, like I've kind of come to a point where I can't deny that, like the conclusion that I've reached is that Jesus is God. So I consider myself to be a Christian, because that's kind of the conclusion that I reached through a lot of my searching and digging. But like I said, I've looked for God in so many places. So it's like, I don't have any judgment or hate for anybody wherever they're at on their walk with trying to find God, because at the end of the day, that's what's most important. And so I feel like if you're really pursuing that, um, you know, I feel like the Bible says, knock and you'll find, or knock and the door will be open, seek and you will find. If you're like genuinely seeking him, you're gonna find him.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Uh, yeah.
So you'd say that your whole, you know, journey of seeking God has been a big inspiration to your music then?
Yeah, definitely. I think seeking God has kind of been my journey in music. It's been the focal point up
Mm-hmm.
to like now. I feel like now I'm kind of reaching a point where it's like God being like, all right, I know that you've got a lot of flaws in your past, but I have a message that I want you to start telling people. And
Mm-hmm.
so now I'm kind of at a point where that is kind of now where I'm wrestling with the like, okay, people are really not going to necessarily like what I'm going to say next,
Mm-hmm.
because now I'm not just talking about myself. Now I'm not just like opening myself up to let everybody see my flaws. Now I'm going to like start poking and maybe making people feel uncomfortable, because I'm going to be addressing things in, I think, more than just my own life that
Mm-hmm.
I see around us, that I see around me, that I see flaws in. And I think that might be uncomfortable for people. And so I think it might turn a lot of people off. So I'm kind of wrestling with that, like internally, of like, I know I need to say these things, but at the same time, like I'm probably, people are going to start kind of tuning out, and it's just kind of a place where I got to trust that
Well,
this is what
yeah,
I'm
you know,
supposed to be doing.
you know, you never know. If you're feeling called to do that, then maybe that is the right thing to do. But you know, if I was to say give any advice or whatever, I said just give it time, think about it, and you know, just go over it a ton and just see if that is the right thing for you. But what would
Yeah,
you say is sort of, because I think because I think as a rapper you've definitely got, you know, you've got it about you to make something out of this. I generally think that.
thank
What
you.
would you say are your, you know, your top goals really with, you know, rapping as Exile and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think my top goals in music, I think my kind of short-term goal is just to be able to make it into a career, so that my wife doesn't have to work
Mm-hmm.
anymore if she doesn't want to, and so that I can make it my full-time thing. Because I get so drained after my day job that it's hard to put that time into music. I still do it, but it, like, you know, it's tiring after a
Mm-hmm.
full day of work. Um, so I would love to be able to just pour everything that I've got into that, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
allow for my wife to stay home with the kids, and
Have you
just
got
work on
kids?
music. Not yet. Got one on the way though.
Ah, oh, congrats, man. How long you been
Thank you.
married?
I've been married for 3 years now, but we were dating for 4 years before that, so together for
Nice.
7 now. Yeah.
Cool. How old are you? You don't look much older than me.
I'm only 25.
25. I'm
Yep.
26, so I just turned
Okay.
20. I turned 26 last October, so I'll be 20, 27 in October. So we've got a
Okay. So
similar age.
we're pretty much a year apart exactly. I'm an October baby as well.
What day?
15th.
27th.
Okay. Yeah,
So
not very far apart.
that's just about a week, 12 days. So it's not too far.
Yeah,
And
not too far.
whereabouts in America is it that you live as well?
I live in Oregon, so on the West
Oregon.
Coast.
So
Yep.
let me tell you a cool thing that I like about Oregon. So people who follow my music have no idea, but I'm a bit of a wine expert. Uh,
Okay.
I used to work as a sommelier, which is someone who sells wine in a restaurant and manages the cellar and advises people on which wines to have for their food. I
Oh,
love
that's
that.
cool.
I loved that job, except it was bad because one, I just the people who worked there were savage, and it meant working 5 evenings a week, and I didn't have any
Oh man.
time for my wife or just anything really.
Right.
So I left, but Oregon has got some fantastic Pinot Noir. I know the people listening probably couldn't give a crap about wine and they're like, "Oh, I don't drink wine. I just drink lean and Budweiser, whatever." But for those who are serious about drinking some good stuff, a good Oregon Pinot Noir, that is the stuff.
Yeah, that's what I hear people talk about. I've tried so hard to like wine. Something about it. I just can't seem to
Yeah.
like it.
What is your go-to alcoholic beverage?
Oh, honestly, it's probably a whiskey sour or
Oh,
a good IPA. So
yeah,
that about me is definitely the Oregon hipster. I love a good IPA.
yeah. So
I
right,
used to make a good Tom Collins, but I
all
haven't
right.
had one for a while.
Tom Collins. I think that's just gin, lemon sugar, and soda. Great cocktail.
Yep.
But right, get a cocktail shaker. Put because in England we use 25 mils or we use 50 mils for single or double, but in America you
Okay.
use 4 or 6 ounces. Is it four
I
or
believe, I think it is 4. I wouldn't
yeah?
swear to it.
But you do the largest measure of, say it's 4 ounces, 4 ounces of whiskey, and then put a full lemon's juice in it, and then put 2 ounces of sugar syrup in there, and then put one egg white, and then
Okay.
shake it like crazy with no ice. That emulsifies the egg white so it gets foamy. Then put the ice in, then shake it for 10 seconds, and then get a strainer and strain it into a glass with ice, and that removes
Okay.
any like weird sedimenty bits from the egg or just any weird bits,
Yeah.
and then you've got a wonderful cocktail. And if you've
That
got
sounds real
some
good.
Angostura bitters, just put a dash of that on top. Trust me,
Okay.
bro, it's really. And then you can apply that method to any like spirit. You could put
Okay.
amaretto in there, or um, that's basically a Tom Collins as well. But just try it out, man. Just try it out.
Yeah. I'll have to try that because that sounds real good. I've never tried it with an egg white in there, but I've heard
Yeah,
about people drinking it with egg white.
yeah, yeah. It's the bomb. It is the bomb. But
Okay.
I think that's enough of a sidetrack from music. But
Probably.
what would you say are your favorite rappers or the rappers who inspire you the most to rap and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I've had a few that really stick out kind of throughout different times of my life. And
Mm-hmm.
so all together, they've kind of created the amalgamation that is me. And I would say there was definitely a time where it was Eminem, because that
Mm-hmm.
was really the only rapper like me out there. And then let's see, NF has definitely had a big impact on me and my music more recently. But before that, it was like Hobson, Tech Nine, and those are like my big go-to artists, and still to this day. I mean, they're just phenomenal artists. Both of them killing the independent game. Just there's so much about those two specifically that I look up to. You know, just whether it's just how well they're doing completely independently, or, you know, just how ridiculous their rhyme schemes and their flow patterns are. Just that, to me, they're two of the greatest rappers of all time. It's incredible that I get to live in the same time as them.
Definitely. Have you got any new music that we can be looking forward to, or any
Yeah.
EPs, albums, anything like that?
Yeah, so I've got a couple things going right now. The two that I've put kind of the most thought into is this thing I'm gonna start doing called Wanderer Wednesdays, and I'll start doing I'm gonna try to do a new track every Wednesday, starting this upcoming Wednesday. I have a track coming out called Going Ghost. So that one, I just took like a month away and literally just like ghosted everybody, and I wasn't talking to anybody working on music or anything, and I was planning on taking a step away for a little while, but just kind of things got real overwhelming, and I just had to like take a step away without really saying anything, or doing anything. But I was planning on dropping this track Going Ghost before I took a step back. So since I didn't, I figure I still want to release it, so I'm gonna put it out this Wednesday, and then each week I'll be dropping a couple song that I've got kind of in the vault, and I'm working right now on a project called Ye with Ears to Hear, and right now I don't know for sure that it's going to be exactly what I'm thinking, but kind of my thought is doing like turning a chapter of Ezekiel into a song, and then doing one song for each chapter in the book of Ezekiel. There's 48 chapters, so I don't know that I really want to go for 48 weeks, and I don't know how that would really look. But that's kind of the next project that I'm going to be putting together. And then at the end of it, I'll have like probably a bigger like mixtape or EP or something.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Sounds really good, actually. So it
Yeah,
sounds
thank
like
you.
you've got plans, and that means
Yeah,
that, you know, you're not just going with the flow. You're taking it serious, and you're putting the grind in. I think just to
yep,
sort of bring the podcast slowly to an end, what would you say is your advice to like absolute beginners? I know that we've brushed on being on beat, but you know, despite that, what would you say
yeah.
are the main things that you would say to a young exile or just a young rapper? What would your advice be?
First off, just recognize the fact that you're not good right now. You're gonna suck to start. That's just the way that it is. Nobody is, nobody's Eminem their first day writing. And so that I think would have helped me a lot, because I think I fluctuated. I went through periods where I was like, man, I just suck and I shouldn't suck. And then I'd go through highs and be like, man, I'm just the bomb, when really I did suck.
Yeah.
And so I think recognizing the fact that when you're first starting, you just suck, that's a great place to start. And the sooner that you start sucking, the sooner you can stop. Like the sooner you'll be better. I know that sounds real weird to say, but anyway, so there's that. And then just really like, I've heard a lot of people that are not rappers try to give advice to people starting to rap by saying like, stop mimicking this professional rapper's style. But like, I honestly think that that's where everybody needs to start. Like, mimic the styles that you think sound the best, and
Yeah.
in that you're going to find your own style. You'll figure out what you like to do,
Yeah.
what you're good at. And so I think that the whole like, when you're starting, don't try to copy somebody else's style. Like, that's just bad advice. Like, everybody starts off mimicking somebody.
Yeah. And I mean, when I started making beats, I was trying to make Post Malone type beats, because that's who I like. Post Malone's probably my favorite rap artist at the moment.
Yeah,
And that's kind of just he really got me into wanting to make beats, just because I loved his music. And I think now, like, if I was to just take your advice and apply it to sort of my producing, I would definitely say that my beats have evolved over time, and some of my
Yeah.
first few beats sucked. And
Right.
it wasn't until I had people listen to them and give me advice and stuff to make me make better beats. And the one thing I struggled with was drums. And Legend, he always would try and get me to make better drums that hit harder and stuff. And then,
Yeah.
like, I just got a few sample packs and the drums were just fire. And just from using them and then seeing them and then figuring out how I can make them myself better, just elevated
Right.
my whole beats, made them sound better. So it's kind of the same thing. You, you,
That's what's
you,
up.
you
Yeah,
have,
exactly.
there's, I've, an old mentor of mine said, um, you need to suck before you have success.
There you go.
You like
That's
that?
a good way of putting it. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. You need to suck before you have success.
Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna remember that one.
They kind of go together. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's good. But so you've got new music coming out. You have got, you've found your own lane, which is really cool. Which is really unique
Thank
about
you.
you. What would you say are some of your favorite features that you've done? Because I've seen you do a few.
Oh man, yeah.
So what would they be?
So I really liked there's a couple that I want to mention, but they haven't released yet. So and I don't think the artists have even announced them. So I'll
Okay.
refrain from mentioning those. But as far
Hmm.
as what I know has come out, um, I really like the feature that I did with Casual, the Strange Times. That
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just got such a vibe to it. I just I don't know. When he said like he wanted me to try something interesting with the vocals, like in the beginning of the track before the rap comes in, I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. And like I don't know. I just think it turned out really well.
Yeah, that was a good track. I actually remember listening to that. I was like, "What the hell is this? It's awesome!" You know,
Thank
when
you.
you just don't expect it, and it was just like
Right.
because it was different. But then, like, so you hear something different for the first time, you instantly you're just like, and then you're like,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, that was
Right.
cool.
And
It.
I love trying new things with music. Like as you know, I hit you up seeing if you might want to try using some Viking throat singing samples. They're not going to be good at this point because I'm still learning how. But I saw this guy do throat singing. He did a cover of Linkin Park's "Numb," and it's so cool sounding. I think it.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just love new and unique takes on something that's been done for a long time. And I feel like hip hop is a great place to just experiment because it's always been like taking something that already exists and then
Hmm.
mixing it in a way that's never been done before.
Yeah, I remember listening to Jay-Z and Linkin Park when they released their music together, and that was just sick.
Yeah.
I've been playing guitar pretty much since I was like 10. Um, and I always listen to like rock and indie rock and, you know, electric indie kind of stuff with synths,
Yeah.
whatever, as well as hip hop, like. But being a guitar player, Foo Fighters were one of my
Oh
favorite
yeah.
bands, so just heavy guitars. And then you hear that with Jay-Z, I'm just like mind blown. This is fire. Um,
Right.
so a part of me is wanting to make more guitar type beats because last weekend I went to my dad's. My dad owns a couple of pubs with hotels, and hotels. We went to stay down there, me and my wife, last weekend because my dad also writes songs and plays guitar and stuff.
Okay.
So
That's
I
sick.
went down, took my studio. He's got some stuff as well, and we actually recorded a bunch of songs, but we only
Nice.
finished one. And when I traveled down, I totally forgot my guitar. My guitar's really good. I mean, I've got 6 guitars now, but I
Oh
had
man.
5, but they're all at home in the garage or either just out and about. And we were rushing to get to set off because it's about 4 hours away. And I got
Okay.
there and I realized, oh crap, I haven't got my guitar. So we spent one day making half a day making music, and I just couldn't get in the flow with him because we were trying to produce, create these songs together, and he needed help with my guitar playing and vice versa. So we went, screw it, we'll go to the nearest music shop, which was about 30 minutes away, and we picked up a really cheap Squier Stratocaster, which was about £129, which is probably about 150 bucks.
Yeah,
And it's cheap, but it sounds so sick when I play it. It's
that's cool.
you can tell it's cheap, but it's just so like sounds good, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
And it's a 3/4 size. It's really light,
Okay.
and it's light pink, so it's a bit girly. But I really like playing it, and so I was thinking, well, maybe as the Battle Beats brand, as well as marketing to rappers and selling beats and stuff like that, because I can play guitar and piano and make melodies, why don't I make my own sample pack that is
Yeah,
very guitar driven as well and has got some really cool synth, flute, piano, weird melodies like that as well. So a part of me is toying up, should I put the work in to make a really awesome sample pack that I can market to producers as well? Because in turn,
right.
that can help boost my brand. I can sell beats to rappers and I can make stuff for producers. So then I got 2 audiences. So I'm just
Exactly.
toying up how I could logistically do that. But anyway, that is.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea, man.
Mm,
I think that if you are really into the guitars and the synths, I think you should like double down on that, honestly. I I just think that like when there's something you want to try, I'm a big advocate for like do it, because
mm.
chances are like there might not be something out there that sounds like what you make, and it might be the next thing.
Yeah, you never know. It's like that
Yeah.
whole country trap with Old Town Road just blew up
Yeah.
last year, and then you go on YouTube, you type in, country trap type beat or Lil Nas X type beat, and you just hear it, and it's like, what's
Yep.
going to be the next wave, And
Right.
maybe God willing, that could be one of my beats. Who knows? But
Right.
um,
And if you go with the guitar, I think it definitely could be. I mean, if you look around at like reaction channels on YouTube these days, ones that are specific to hip hop are really focused on rock. Like there's a lot of rappers getting into rock stuff now.
hmm,
So I don't know. I think doubling down on the guitar synth
yeah.
stuff might
Well,
really be a
do
good
you want to
idea.
know? Do you want to know a cool thing? Last
Yeah.
night, I made a beat and it was really cool. And I typed in on Google, sorry, rap songs in 145 BPM. And I listened to a couple and I downloaded Soldier Boy, um, which is just a really old school classic. Dragged it
Okay.
into, dragged the acapella into this beat, and it didn't work at all. So I was like, screw it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just put the acapella in a session, and I'm going to make a beat behind it. And never guess what? I've managed to turn that song into like a really rocky,
Oh,
heavy
that's cool.
trap thing, and I'm going to finish it this week and probably release it in the middle of the week. It'll probably be out by the time this podcast is out, because this podcast will be out on Friday. But
Okay.
I think that I'm going to aim for Wednesday for this cover. But
Nice.
I might send you like a sneak peek, seeing as you're the first person I've told,
All
tomorrow
right. Yeah, that'd
or
be sick.
something. But yeah, it's basically I tune my guitar to drop D, and I've got like boom boom chords. But it's
Oh
got
man, that's
like a
cool.
it's got 808s and it's got like a hip hop drum beat, but the guitar's on top. I'm even soloing in it as well. Like
Oh man.
it it's way different to what I've ever done, but it sounds sick. So
Okay. I can't wait to hear that.
yeah, it does. It sounds insane. But yeah, man, that's what's going on with me anyway. Not much, but anyway, bro, we're pretty much. This is just great having you on the podcast. Like, this has been one of the best episodes, in my opinion. But is there
Thank you.
anything else you want to share about your journey, or what's going on, or what's up and stuff, or shall we bring it to a nice end?
Yeah, I mean, as far as what's going on, I think it's just kind of, I'm just trucking along, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, but I mean, for anybody listening that wants maybe to talk more about music, wants to ask questions, whatever, like, I'm always available. I might not get back to you right away because I just kind of antisocial a little bit, but I will definitely, like, I try to respond to every message I get, every comment, whatever. So if anybody ever needs anything, just let me know.
Sounds good. So are you cool with allowing like a 30-second clip of one of your songs at the end of the podcast so people can have a quick listen?
That'd be great.
And then what I'll do is I'll put all your links in the description so people can go straight there. Would that be cool?
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Awesome, man. But it sounds good. So I think we'll wrap it up there. So XR, thank you for coming on, bro. It's been a great episode. And it's just been a nice chat as well, getting to know you some more and, getting to dive into, the reason why you rap and all of that stuff. So thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. We're going to roll out with one of your bangers and yeah, great stuff.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome.
Let me tell a story going way back. I've been talking to the Lord, he told me stay back. Take a minute at the board to get the straight facts. Tell them I was coming up, but know they're gonna hate that. So I said okay, let me just go say a little bit of why I've been MIA. I've been dealing with a lot and I let my pain get a little bit ahead of me and test my faith. I lost sight of my purpose, I lost sight of the mission. I won't lie, I've been nervous that I'm spiritually losing my vision. But he's pulling me back to the path I've been on, and I'm feeling the passion, in fact it's been strong.
Thank you for listening to the Beats and Bars podcast. I'm your host, Battle Beats. See you next week.
It's battle, baby.